Make sure you have a clean work surface. You'll need a baking pan. You want to take your puff pastry sheets and make sure they are defrosted. You're going to thaw them at room temperature for about 40 minutes, or you could put them in the microwave for 15 seconds on each side, wrapped in a paper towel. You're going to remove the paper from the pastry sheet and just press it down onto the pan, making sure it's even. Now you're going to take your Hershey bar, place it right in the center, and you're going to make slices in the puff pastry. You're going to cut 2 small slices at the end of the Hershey bar, and then you're going to make diagonal slices, and you'll see them on both sides. You want to make the slices the same size, about 3/4 of an inch wide, and you want to stay on that same diagonal. This is going to give your sculpture or your edible art a nice braided look with only 2 pieces of dough on each side. I'm going to lift this up in 1 second so you can see my diagonal slices, I hope. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Obviously, you can replay these and rewind them so that you can watch again and again so that it's easier when you make your edible art. Just making sure you can see everything. What I'm going to do now is fold over my dough on top of my Hershey bar. I'm going to take 1 piece from each side and alternate a left-right pattern so that they crisscross on top of the Hershey bar. If your dough is not totally defrosted, you may have it break in certain places, and we wouldn't want that. So make sure that your dough is defrosted in your puff pastry. And you can see that it kind of looks like a braid on top of your Hershey bar. When you get to the end, you're definitely going to have extra dough. You'll just take that piece off, and tuck it underneath so that it has a finished edge. I melted about 2 tablespoons of butter in my microwave for 20 seconds, and I'm going to use a pastry brush to brush the butter on top of my pastry puff braid. This is like 30-minute meals with Mrs. Anderson, except I'm making those sweet, delicious desserts first, because isn't dessert the best part of the meal anyway? After I've generously put butter all over my puff pastry, this is going to give it a shiny finish and seal it all together. Then I'm going to take my granulated sugar. I'm going to sprinkle a little in my hand and just sprinkle it on top of my puff pastry sheet. I've already preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and now I'm going to put in my puff pastry sheet with my chocolate bar and sugar in the oven for 15 minutes. See you in a couple of minutes. After about 15 minutes, you want to check on your puff pastry to make sure it's a golden brown. Once it has this golden brown color, make sure you turn off your oven, use pot holders, and make sure something is on your counter while it cools. Don't forget that your dessert just came out of a 400-degree oven. It's going to be very, very hot. Carefully transfer it to a plate, and you're ready to serve. And just like that, you've created edible art. You certainly don't have to make this dessert for your piece of edible art. You can make whatever you want. Just start thinking about what you're going to make to surprise your family. I'll surprise you with a different recipe every day.